Dmrc meeting. Do we have any apologies or substitutes?
No apologies, convener.
Okay, thank you. Declarations of interest or statements of transparency, anything from elected members? Okay, that's looking like nothing. Item 3, the minute of the previous meeting. That was the meeting on the 8th of November. Is that a true record? Yep, okay, thank you for that. We now move on to item 4, which is 96 Dundee Street, Carnoustie, and our planning advisor, Nicola Hay, will take us through the presentation on this one. Nicola, over to you.
Thank you, convener. I will just share my screen for you. Okay, good afternoon. I'm Nicola Hay of the Development Plan team at Angus Council, present today as Independent Planning Advisor to the committee. I can confirm that I visited the site on Tuesday the 18th of October 2022. I've had no previous involvement in the application and I have no conflict of interest relative to the case, applicant or any interested party. Case before committee today seeks review of refusal of planning permission, application reference 220041 full, for a change of use from diner and play centre to restaurant and hot food takeaway, including alterations and extension to the building at 96 Dundee Street, Carnoustie. Property is a detached single-storey building with rear extensions which occupies the majority of its site, with external areas to the west and north. The building is currently vacant. Property is located in an area which is predominantly residential in character, with housing located to the immediate east, north and west, as well as to the south beyond Dundee Street, which is supported housing at Kinloch Court. There is a retail unit, which is a furniture showroom located around 24 metres to the east of the site at number 90 Dundee Street, and to the north or rear of that shop is the Royal British Legion at 88 Dundee Street. So that this slide shows the site location plan with, it's difficult to see properties around the north, west and east, and then the Kinloch Court development on the other side of Dundee Street. These are the existing and proposed site plans. Little difference to show here, but really to compare them and see that there's a small extension to the west side to be removed here, and the existing uncovered rear extension to be constructed and built with a roof structure to the west and rear of the building. This is the proposed floor plan and, sorry, the existing floor plan and the proposed floor plan, showing to the west side of the building the kitchen area. Sorry, I've got my directions the wrong way around. Yes, to the west side of the building is the hot food takeaway with a kitchen to the rear, and the restaurant to the east side of the building. These are the existing and proposed east elevation drawings. These indicate some new mechanical extraction. The unit here sitting on a flat roof section towards the rear of the building, and an additional ventilation unit on the side of the building. To the west elevation, the section to the rear shows the existing stores now constructed in a block cavity construction with a flat roof, new ventilation in the side of the elevation, and the removal of the small side extension towards the front of the property and closure of a doorway. The next slide is the rear elevation, and predominantly here the changes relate to removal of the water tank from the roof, the installation of a new mechanical extraction unit on the flat roof section towards the rear, and this existing stores area built with block cavity construction and a flat roof. The main changes are clearly on the front elevation. Here there's extensive areas of new glass and new shop frontages, new aluminium shop front entrance to the restaurant to the east side, and to the west side the hot food takeaway. Some photographs just to show you the site context. So this is the front elevation and the east side, looking from the other side of Dundee Street. This is the east elevation with residential property immediately to the rear. I've taken these images from Google because the sun was in my camera on the day I was there and couldn't use the photographs. So this street frontage just really to show both looking in a westerly direction and an easterly direction, the relationship between the property and the Kinloch Court development on the other side of Dundee Street. This is the site frontage from the west, and the large building behind is the retail shop furniture showroom in a former church building, I think. And this is a closer view of the west side of the building, and the structure in the middle there is the small side extension that's due to be removed. And I must apologise that I don't have an image showing the rear of the building. I hope that's helpful. The case officer's report, the notice of review, and the grounds of appeal and other information are detailed in the papers in front of members. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Nicola. Our planning advisor from elected members. I'll just advise you, I've got a slight IT problem in that I can't see any of your pictures. I'm only seeing black squares, so I can't see anything. You're going to have to do it electronically to let me know if you want to say anything. I'm assuming that no one has got any questions. Okay, we'll move on. Have we got enough information to determine this application, members?
Yes.
Thank you, Councillor Nicholl. Any other views from other elected members on this one?
I think I have enough information to determine it. Thanks.
Thanks, Councillor Braze. Anyone else with a view on this? Councillor Fairweather?
No, right. I've got enough information. Thank you.
You have, okay, right, okay. And are the other elected members on the committee happy that they've got enough information?
Yes, thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Dorn. Councillor Durno?
Yes, I've got enough information.
That's fine. Okay, we've got enough information to determine the application. Okay, I'll just go around the table then for views. Maybe start with yourself, Councillor Fairweather.
Thank you, Chair. I've looked at this, and I do believe the officers have got this one absolutely correct. So I'll be going with the officers' decision on this one. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to Councillor Braze.
Thanks, Chair. I think that this application should be approved. The site has formerly been used as a pub and as a fish and chip shop. It is in an area where there's commercial activity, and I think that we should grant permission for this.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Durno?
Thanks, Chair. I'm actually going to go with the officers on this application. I used to work in Carnoustie and I'm familiar with this area, and I feel on the traffic side of things that it's very busy with traffic, and that obviously you can see the double yellow lines on the opposite of the road, and a lot of the vehicles now coming for takeaways etc. tend to be very large 4x4s, and I feel the traffic congestion would not make this a feasible option. So I am actually going to go with the officers on this one. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Durno. Councillor Nicholl?
Thank you, Convener. It's in the business shopping area, Carnoustie, and it's been used in the past as a diner, and to change it to a restaurant and food takeaway, I don't see any problem in it. So I would uphold the appeal in this case.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Nicholl. Councillor Doran?
Hi, thanks. I'm gonna I agree with the officers on this one, particularly around the late at night use of the establishment to 11 p.m. So I agree with what the officers have assessed on this case.
Okay, thank you. Okay, my own view on this is I guess there are three things that I would say. As one of my predecessors has said, that the site used to be used as both a pub and a fish and chip shop, and its most recent use was a diner. So it was generating food in its immediately past position. Secondly, it is adjacent to a fairly large furniture store, and behind the furniture store is the Carnoustie branch of the British Legion, which is clearly part of the nighttime activity. It will be open late in the evenings and runs functions. So I would argue that this particular location is in the area of Carnoustie where there is some nighttime activity. And I think the third point I would make is that the current building is not particularly attractive from the street side. The drawings we saw, I think, made it look a more attractive building than the current building. So I think that would be another, I would have thought, material consideration. So I would uphold the appeal. I think we probably need to do this formally. So I will move that we uphold the appeal. Have we got a seconder? Have I got a seconder?
I'll second it.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Nicholl. And is there a counter proposal?
Yes, yes, Chair. I'll move that we go with the officer's recommendation on this one.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Fairweather. Do you have a seconder?
I can second.
Okay, that's Councillor Doran. Okay, then, Sarah, can we just go to the vote on this one?
Yes, thank you, Convener. The motion by yourself, seconded by councillors, to uphold the appeal and grant planning permission for the reasons as stated. The amendment by councillor Fairweather, seconded by councillor Doran, is to dismiss the appeal for the reasons stated in the report of handling. Please vote motion or amendment. Convener?
Motion.
Councillor Nicholl?
Motion.
Councillor Braze?
Motion.
Councillor Doran? Amendment. Councillor Durno? Councillor Durno?
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry, amendment.
Councillor Fairweather?
Amendment.
Convener, there's 3 votes for the motion, 3 votes for the amendment. You therefore have the casting vote.
Thank you, and I will go with the motion to approve the appeal. And I would give, I think, 3 reasons for accepting the appeal. The history of the site. Secondly, the immediate environment of the site, which includes 1 large store and one club which is open in the evening, which is clearly part of the nighttime economy. And the third reason is the aesthetically, the building will be improved by the modifications we've seen from the drawings.
Convener, the motion to approve the application would be subject to conditions. I'm not sure if those conditions are available, if Ms. Hay has those for us today.
I do have conditions, Sarah. How would do you want me to share my screen to go through them, or how do we do this?
That would be ideally if you could do that, Nicola. Yes, if you can share the conditions, because I think we would probably be interested in conditions perhaps on sort of noise, smell, that sort of thing. I'm assuming you've got that sort of condition attached.
I do. I'll share my screen and talk you through those. Here we are. Following planning conditions may be attached to regulate, clarify matters associated with the development. Firstly, the development to which the permission relates must be begun not later than the expiration of 3 years from the date of grant of permission. That's a standard condition that we now have to include. The second condition is about prior to commencement of development, a scheme for the ventilation and abatement of cooking odours shall be submitted and approved in writing by the planning authority, and shall include detailed odour risk assessment carried out following a methodology agreed in advance with our environmental health department, full details of the proposed odour abatement system, including grease filters, pre-filters and carbon filters, or any other odour abatement method as considered necessary, full details of all calculations necessary to demonstrate the dwell time within carbon filters and the final efflux velocity from the proposed extract system flue, detailed drawings showing all ductwork and the discharge position of the exhaust in relation to adjacent properties, and a detailed maintenance and cleaning schedule for the extraction equipment, and thereafter an approved scheme to be installed and fully operational prior to the commencement of the use approved. Subsequently, the scheme shall also be maintained in accordance with the approved details for all time coming. And the reason for this condition is in order to ensure an acceptable scheme for minimising cooking odours is provided in the interests of protecting the amenity of neighbouring property and in accordance with policy DS4 of Angus Local Development Plan. The third condition is prior to commencement of development, a scheme for the siting of a suitable litter bin shall be submitted to and approved in writing by the planning authority and implemented prior to commencement of the use and maintained and operated while the use operates from the site. And again, in the interest of protecting the amenity of the area in accordance with policy DS4. Condition 4, prior to commencement of development, specific details of the colour of the proposed external walls shall be submitted to and approved in writing by the planning authority, and thereafter development undertaken in accordance with those approved details in the interests, the reason is for in the interests of visual amenity in accordance with policy DS3 of the local development plan. And condition 5, noise from any ventilation plant associated with the development shall not give rise to a noise level assessed with windows open within any dwelling or noise-sensitive building in excess of that equivalent to NR curve 35 between 0700 hours and 2200 hours, and the NR curve 25 at all other times. And the reason, in order to regulate noise levels from the development, hereby approved in the interest of protecting the amenity of neighbouring property and in accordance with policy DS4 of the development plan. That's the 5 proposed conditions.
That's fine. Thanks very much indeed, Nicola. Elected members, are you happy with the conditions that you've heard read out and seen on the screen, which cover noise, litter, odour, colour of the building, and I think the standard one about 3 years to develop the site. Any other conditions that anyone wants to discuss? I think I've got Councillor Fairweather and Councillor Braes with their hands up. Thanks.
Councillor Braes first, actually, Chair.
Sorry?
It's Councillor Braes first, Chair.
Okay, sorry, Councillor Braes, I'm just flicking between screens here.
Yes, thanks, Convener. I think that they're a very robust set of conditions, and they do address all the various issues that I can foresee. And while it might not satisfy everyone, residents, etc., I think that they are robust, and further, the ventilation system, which I think is really critical to this, has to be in place and has to be inspected before the premises can open. So I'm quite satisfied with them. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Braes. Councillor Fairweather.
Thanks, Chair. I have no issues with the conditions that have been put there, but just as a further comment, Chair, I hope the licensing board look at the hours for this particular establishment. There are a lot of residential properties in that area. There are a lot of elderly and vulnerable people around that area. So I would just like to have it noted that the licensing board should be looking at what hours this establishment gets. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure that the applicant will make the appropriate application for a licence if they need a liquor licence. So I'm sure that's up to the applicants, I guess. Councillor Durno.
Yeah, thanks, Convener. I just wanted to check that the parking restrictions on obviously not the double yellow side, is that an hour similar to Arbroath, an hour's parking? Because obviously if they're running a restaurant, people will be in there having meals, and obviously after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, it'll be okay. But just wondered during the day if maybe Mr. Barnes could come on and tell me what the parking time is on that side of the road during the day. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Durno. Yes, it is an hour, the same as Arbroath, and it's from 8:30 till 5:30. Out with those times, it's unrestricted.
That's great, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there is quite a large sort of parking bay on the side of that road beside the premise, so there is quite a lot of parking. So, as Mr. Barnes has said, that is restricted to an hour during daytime hours. So certainly in the evening, I would anticipate there's going to be sufficient parking. But that's not part of that was not part of the, if you like, the conditions we're implying that the parking is what the parking is. Okay. Everyone happy with the conditions? Just to sort of recap, application 22/00041/full, the appeal is upheld. We'll move now on to item 5, which is 2B Princess Street, Monifieth. Can you give us the presentation again, Nicola?
I can, Convener. I'm just setting up my screen and I will share. I also need to find the right set of notes. So I'll just say again, I'm Nicola Hay of the Development Plan Team at Angus Council, present today as Independent Planning Advisor to the committee. I can confirm I visited the site on Thursday the 10th of November 2022. I've had no previous involvement in the application and I have no conflict of interest relative to the case, applicant or interested party. Any interested party. The case before the committee today seeks removal of condition 1 applied to the approval of the proposal for the conversion of the existing garage store to form a single-storey dwelling house at 2B Princess Street, Monifieth. The proposal involves external alterations to the building, including alterations to windows and the installation of roof lights, The plot for the proposed new residential unit would measure approximately 235 square metres. Vehicular access to the site would be taken from the grounds of the hotel conversion, and 2 parking spaces are proposed within the site. The drawings also show 1 window in the adjacent flat to the west being blocked up. The application form indicates the development would connect to the public drainage network and public water supply. The first slide shows the site location plan. The site is bound to the north by Princess Street, to the east by a pedestrian footpath between the property and Grange and Dundee Golf Club, and to the south by the grounds of the former hotel. The site is located within the curtilage of the former Panmure Hotel, which has recently been converted into 9 flats. The garage building was proposed to be demolished, and the land shown as the garden amenity ground as part of the planning permission for conversion of the hotel. But that aspect of the proposal has not been implemented, and the building remains in situ. This is the proposed site plan indicating the garage building and an adjacent flat because of the, this shows that the applicant controls the site of the proposed conversion and the flat adjacent, and there's a window-to-window relationship there, which we'll come on to. This is the proposed ground floor plan showing the residential conversion of the garage building, and the green hatched area here indicates the garden amenity space and area for 2 parking spaces accessed from within the grounds of the former hotel. These slides just show the elevations. This is the southwest elevation that you would see if the main hotel building wasn't there, and indicates the blocking up of existing openings in that elevation. Here you can see the southeast elevation with openings created in the front for windows. The northeast elevation is showing an existing window within the converted hotel being blocked up, and the same view with the garage building in place, again just showing roof lights and the fenced garden area, and the northwest elevation with a window and door formation in that side. Some photographs just to let you see what that looks like. So the northwest and southwest elevation from Princess Street, this is where the front entrance to the property will be, with a new window formed where the garage door is, and the doorway formed where that blocked up area is to the east side. The window and door openings in the southwest elevation would be blocked up. This shows the garage building immediately on the left of the image, and existing fences in place between it and the hotel building. This is again showing the northeast and the northwest elevation. This is the lane between the property and the Dundee and Grange Golf Club. East and northeast elevation with the narrowest part of the building there going to be where the French doors are created. And this image shows, again from the southeast, the garage building is towards the back of the area, and this is the fenced off area that would incorporate the garden ground and the parking area. And another view of that from within the grounds of the converted building. And that's everything I have for you. The case officer report, the notice of review, grounds of appeal and other information are detailed in the papers in front of members. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Any questions for Nicola from elected members? Okay, again, I'm not seeing anybody's picture. I'm just seeing a black screen with your name, so I don't see any electronic hands. I'm assuming that there's no questions. Elected members, do we have enough information to determine this application? Councillor Nicholl, I see your hands up.
I would like an unaccompanied site visit for this, an idea of this place. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Braze?
I concur.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Braze. I have to say, I think there are some complexities in this application that I think I would need to see on the ground with a planning officer. So I would agree with my two colleagues, and I think if I could perhaps ask Mrs. Forsyth to organise such an unaccompanied site visit, that would probably be the best solution. Are the others happy with that point of view?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
I'd be
Thank
happy with that. It's difficult to see the height of the building next to the old building on a photograph. I think it would be better if you saw it in actual person.
Yeah, thanks for that. Okay, Councillor Fairweather.
Thanks, Chair. Well, to be perfectly honest, I think I've got enough right information, but if everybody else wishes to have a site visit, that's fine.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Fairweather. So I think this one we will hold a site visit before we can determine this one, and would ask Mrs. Forsyth to make arrangements for that. And that, I think, concludes business for today.
Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, convener.
Thanks very much indeed. Thank you.